You think you know why humans started wearing clothes. It got cold. Humans needed warmth. So they grabbed animal skins and put them on. Simple, logical, obvious. Except, it's wrong. Not partially wrong. Fundamentally wrong. The real reason humans started wearing clothes has nothing to do with temperature. And when you understand what it actually was, it changes everything you think you know about what clothes mean today. Because you're still doing it, right now, whether you realize it or not. Let's start with the theory everyone believes. The cold theory. Humans evolved in Africa, warm, open, no clothes needed. Then they migrated north into colder climates, Europe, Central Asia, freezing. They needed protection from the cold. Makes sense, right? Here's the problem. Scientists can actually track when humans started wearing clothes, not by finding ancient fabric. Fabric doesn't survive that long, but by studying lice. Specifically, a tiny species called the clothing louse. Clothing lice evolved from head lice, and they can only live in clothing, not on skin. So when clothing lice first appeared, clothes first appeared. Scientists sequenced their DNA and traced back exactly when they split from head lice. The answer, 170,000 years ago. Now here's where it gets interesting. 170,000 years ago, the Earth was actually warming, not cooling. Temperatures in Africa were rising, not falling. The cold theory doesn't hold up. So if it wasn't cold, what was it? The leading scientific theory today isn't about cold at all. It's about insects. Specifically, biting insects. Flies, mosquitoes, parasites. 170,000 years ago, as Africa warmed and became wetter, insect populations exploded. And insects weren't just irritating, they were lethal. Mosquitoes carry malaria. Flies carry sleeping sickness. Ticks carry dozens of blood-borne diseases. For a species with no fur, unlike every other large mammal, ancient humans were completely exposed. Other animals had coats, thick skin, natural armor. Humans had nothing. A simple wrap of animal hide wasn't warmth. It was a shield. Humans lost their body hair around 1.2 million years ago. For 1 million years, we were naked and exposed. The first piece of clothing wasn't a coat against the cold. It was armor against something you could barely see. But here's where it gets even more interesting, because there's a third theory. And some researchers believe it's the most important one: social signaling. Humans are intensely aware of each other's bodies. Who is stronger? Who has status? Who is a potential threat? Body covering changes all of that. When you cover your body, you control what people see. Your age, your scars, your vulnerabilities. Anthropologists studied modern hunter-gatherer communities, the Hadza of Tanzania, the San people of southern Africa. Even in warm climates where clothing for warmth makes no sense, people still wear coverings. Not for warmth, for identity. It signals group membership, status, belonging. Every single human civilization ever discovered has clothing or body decoration. Even cultures that never experienced cold. Even cultures with zero dangerous insect populations. That is not a coincidence. That is a deeply human need. To communicate who you are before you say a single word. For most of human history, clothing was simple. A hide draped over a shoulder. Then, around 50,000 years ago, one of the most underrated inventions in human history appeared. The needle. A tiny sliver of bone with a hole at one end. It sounds unremarkable. It was anything but. The needle meant you could join pieces of material together. Precisely, intentionally. For the first time, clothing could fit a body. It could have sleeves, a collar, multiple layers. It could be shaped. Archaeologists found needles in caves in Siberia, 50,000 years old. In the same caves, beads, ochre pigment, carved figures. All decorative, all social. These weren't people solving a survival problem. These were people expressing something. The needle didn't just make better clothing. It made clothing a language. Now think about your wardrobe. Not the practical pieces, the ones you actually care about. The outfit you wear when you want to feel confident. The one you put on when you're meeting someone important. The thing you wore on the best night of your life. You weren't dressing for warmth. You weren't dressing against insects. You were signaling, this is who I am. This is my tribe. This is my status. This is what I want you to think of me before I open my mouth. Research shows people judge strangers within 100 milliseconds of seeing them. based primarily on appearance and clothing. Not their words, not their actions. Their covering. The same ancient calculation that happened around a prehistoric fire happens every time you walk into a room. Fashion industries worth trillions of dollars exist entirely because of one ancient instinct. The most expensive suit in the world and a piece of animal hide tied around a hunter 170,000 years ago are solving the exact same problem. Not warmth, not protection. The desperate human need to be seen and understood before a single word is spoken. 170,000 years of human history, and we still haven't stopped telling people who we are with what we wear. If this made you think, the next video goes even deeper. What did ancient humans actually fear? It's right there. I'll see you in it.